We are live.
I have lost all sound in my headphones.
You lost all sound in your headphones.
Okay, now we got it. Now we're good. That was weird. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well,
right.
I'm going to have to get better adapters, and we're going to just have to get better headphones.
Hey, you know what?
I didn't even open this. I'm sitting here trying to drink it. I didn't even open it.
Hey, that happens. Sometimes you don't always bust it wide open before you take a drink. You know what I'm saying? All right, so
you're just going to drink through the can.
It's been a long, long time. And now, X told me not to date this episode just because we kind of want to be able to play a little fast and loose, a little free with the timeline. You know what I'm saying? But, as a lore aficionado, I think I am going to date this episode and say, welcome us back. You welcome us back. We know we're back. You welcome us back. We took a pretty decent amount of time off the show. Personal life stuff. I would say COVID stuff, but we live in the Midwest. Nothing changed for us. We're back. We're recording again. Obviously, we're in a different place the last time. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, then it might sound different. I don't know how acoustics work technically. But we are in my basement now. We've got a little bit of a different setup. We're trying this out. So if you are listening to us, if you're listening to this episode in 2023, please be nice to us because we are trying out a new setup. Or fuck you. Either way, I don't care. So obviously you can see if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see a different person. You might recognize him. This is Group Larry. He was in our Spicy Boys. Spicy Pending in our Spicy Boys episode where we did the trivia. He's subbing in for Maui and Jamie today. They had other things going on. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get just to go back, introduce ourselves. We'll start left, come all the way back. Go ahead and start off.
We got X.
I'm Lenny.
No. We don't know who that is. We don't use names.
So that's good because nobody knows who that is. And I'm D-Mark. Obviously, welcome to When Awesome Collides. We're back again. It's good to be back. We were gone for a while. I do think that I am going to open this with a little,
Hold on.
What?
You trying to get the topic now?
No.
No, I just want everybody to know I got a cool new. I want to hit my button for the intro. So you let me know when to roll it.
Oh yeah, no.
Because now I can actually roll. I can hit a button because COVID was the best financial thing that ever happened to me, and now I have money to buy a mixer. So
I just thought it'd be a polite, nice, easy way just to start things up to get us back in. So Roe versus Wade, good idea or best idea?
Somebody roll the credits.
Yeah. No. I gotta. Okay. So was the original the good idea or the best idea, or is overturning it the good idea, best idea? You left it kind of ambiguous.
Right. That's how that.
So no matter what you say, you're right.
Yeah, you don't know how cold opens work at all. We have been slacking. That was the perfect time to hit that button. I thought I set you up real.
There we go.
You're on with Maui.
No relation to the trademark whatsoever.
D-Mark.
I don't believe in none of this.
And X.
Which, by the way, Dick Wolf is the best name ever.
And this is When Awesome Collides.
I like it.
Okay, so little way to start this off. I actually had it's something that you've been talking about a little bit. I actually kind of really want to chop it up with you on this because one of the things that one of our groups we like to talk about. We talk about sports a ton, and I have been noticing that Group Larry has an idea, and he said he can single-handedly fix the WNBA, and I'm actually pretty interested to hear his take on it. How you gonna fix it?
Ooh.
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And what were we talking about at the time, though?
Oh, I don't know. It had probably nothing to do with that. But you said you started off. You said if I had the chance, I could single-handedly fix the WNBA. I have no idea what we were talking about before that. Probably had nothing to do with that. I was interested to know how you gonna fix it.
Damn. Okay.
Step one was go to Russia.
Step one is go to Russia because you have to extract Brittany.
Hold on. Before we even talk about that, actually, you know what? I don't think, when they're like, hey, she went over there, and I think it's crazy that they haven't released her after going over there with drugs. When do we stop? Like, when do we be like, hey, you shouldn't commit crimes in other countries because that's a bad idea? Why does nobody said that? Because I get that they're like, oh, hey, these are some little light works over there, and then they're like, oh, I can't believe that they put her in jail for that. I'm like, it kind of happens when you break laws. Like, I get it, terrible, it's stupid law. Laws can be stupid, but she kind of at some point has to be like, wait, hold on. If you can help me out, was she going there or coming home?
She was coming back.
She was coming back.
Yeah.
So she got them there. That's even that
right.
So she got them there.
Right.
And it was like,
it's not illegal to get them there.
Right.
It's illegal to leave with them.
Sure. So think about this. She was like, man, I just cannot spend this 8-hour plane ride back to America and not high a little bit.
Right. She probably should have just got high before she got there.
Just get high before you get on the plane.
Right.
You're good to go. That's what, so just a little small tidbit. I get that.
Also, though, we're probably overestimating how much she knew that already was illegal.
No,
ignorance is no excuse for the law.
Agreed.
Wait, whoa. Did
what?
It's still showing up on that. Okay, cool. So unfortunately, that is true. She probably had no concept that would get in trouble. But everybody's like, oh, it's crazy. I'm like, it is a little crazy, but
it is also a lot that they were just like, damn, we could just confiscate this, but instead we're going to confiscate you.
Oh yeah.
That's the real struggle.
It's like two things can be true at once. Like for them to be like, yeah, well, let's just go ahead and take this and have you go. They're like, we got other stuff going on. Because did you see they're going to trade her now? They're like, hey, we'll trade her. They're literally actually like, you know what? We'll talk to you in basketball terms. We'll trade you Brittany Grimer. My bad.
That's a better name.
Just smudging all over herself.
We'll trade you Brittany Muck for a Russian war criminal. Little trade for trade. I didn't know they were doing that. They're trying that.
Who's a war criminal?
I don't know. He had a cool little name. Hold on. Let me look it up real quick. Jamie? Okay, while I'm doing that, you tell us how you're going to fix the WNBA.
All right, perfect. So the first step is to extract Brittany Griner. That's obviously step number one. The second step is you can't drop first round draft picks. You just can't cut them. That's not a thing anymore.
On a time frame?
On a time frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because right, you're saying in men's basketball, you never see the number one pick. Kaiser? Is that her name?
Yeah. Exactly. Just she got through a third of a season. They were like, nah, we're cool. No, that's not a thing. Either draft better or deal with the consequences. Anthony Bennett played for 5 years. Now, not great, but he played them all. That's my point. So I don't know what the trouble is there. I'm not sure if maybe their contracts aren't guaranteed. And so that's why they can just cut them with no penalty. But that's definitely got to go out the window. So guaranteed contracts for first round.
Okay, real quick. The guy's name is the Merchant of Death.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know if that's an equivalent. I don't know. They're talking about, it feels like they're trying to trade Brady for
Do you mean they're trying to play
Mariota?
Collateral damage. We'll send both of them with 2 less fingers.
Oh, okay. Okay, so continue. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah.
That was the trade.
So guaranteed first round contracts. So that way they can stop getting cut. And then finally some promotion. I don't know how all of the league's money must go to paying coaches, maybe because none of the players make any money. And there's no promotion. They had exactly one good marketing strategy, and that was those orange sweatshirts that absolutely fuck. They should do that all the time.
If it helps, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Also,
I'm helping prove your point.
Yeah, exactly.
My question is, though, how much money does the WNBA make?
Oh, no. You don't want to talk. No.
You don't want to
hold on. Real quick.
No, but that's for me. That's it. I don't even know what half the argument is, right?
So hold on. So in general, actually, let me preface this before they don't. That's the thing. They're subsidized by the NBA.
Yeah.
But we talked about do you remember what I said the other day? That you were like, oh, that's actually the first good take on the evolution of the WNBA.
Yeah.
So most people's argument is, does it make money? If not, then there should be nothing done about it.
Well, that was
right.
That was the reason I asked is because you said something about the money must be going to the coaches, and I was under the impression there was no money. So
It's
how much
subsidized.
more?
So basically,
how much more money are the coaches making than the players would be the first question.
Oh yeah, let's get some stats.
Yeah, I'll get you.
Because if the coaches are making that much more money that they could dump that back in, that's the CEO makes 1,000% more than the
frontline worker.
Than their average, entry level worker. So if that's the case, but if it's only like 3 times, there's less. You can't disperse that the same way.
So while I'm looking, I'm pretty sure a max player contract's like 200,000.
I mean, honestly, I think it might even be like 150.
Yeah, and Hammond is making $1 million,
and Becky Hammond makes $1 million.
Yeah, she makes $1 million.
Is that a coach?
Yeah, she's a coach.
So that's player maximum versus coach's salary.
Yeah, so about 5 times.
Yeah,
and that's if you're remember
not
that's
5 times
or 4 times. Yeah,
it depends. If it's
200,000, I'm talking about.
You said a coach's max is $1 million?
No, well,
a player's max is $1 million.
A player's max is 150 grand, I think,
and a coach makes $1 million.
And a coach makes $1 million.
So that's what 7.5 times more,
sure,
ish.
But your average is something like 40K.
Do they have to pay for their own travel though?
They don't pay for their own travel, but they can only fly coach. And
you tell me right now that you wouldn't love to make we'll just say you make 60,000.
120,000 is the average.
120,000.
Okay,
the only tricky
part
about that is that it's probably really top heavy.
Yeah, I was going to say, find the median.
So the highest paid WNBA player makes 221,000 a year.
Okay.
So if you extrapolate that in a weird way, obviously that means like people are making probably average of 70, 80.
Yeah.
If you've got people at the high end making 221.
Right.
So coaches, it's actually rare because in the NBA, players make
exorbitant amount
more than coaches.
Right.
Like, so what was your point to that, my bad?
He was just
my only point was is it really the coach is making so much more than the players that could be a thing that solves it. Because if you say a coach is making $1 million and the average person's making 120, even if you brought that coach down 500,000, you still can't disperse
that much money
evenly between I would assume each team still has 11 players.
Yeah.
No,
12.
12
yeah.
probably. So
12, probably 15 total.
The tricky part this is what I was saying the other day that he was like, one of the problems that I personally think with the WNBA, besides not lowering the rim, which is something they should do, I don't care who you are.
Is the ball smaller?
Yes, the ball is smaller.
But they refuse to lower it from 10 foot, right?
Yeah,
right.
12 foot.
10 foot.
Oh, my bad.
It's 10 foot.
Yeah,
12 foot.
My bad.
I mean, okay, hold up now.
LeBron James could go 12.
Move the NBA up to 12 feet. So then that way we could see if they all still dunking and shit. And then if you move the NBA up 2 more feet and it becomes way less physical and less fun to watch, it is proof that if you lower them back down to 10 and then lower the WNBA to say 8, then you rocking with it because you're like, hey, the NBA ain't even good if you can't see people fucking rip the backboard down because we raise it up to 12 feet and even men can't do that. Right. Or then you just raise WNBA up to 12 feet, put a nail in that coffin, stop letting the NBA subsidize them, lower the NBA back down to 10 feet and give them something like, I don't know, like spike pads or some shit. So it feels like even more like XFL-ish.
So
that's where I'm at.
But so I'm thinking, so lower the rim.
Yeah.
The ball's already smaller.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Can we make it even smaller though?
I don't think it should be smaller. I think once you lower the rim, it makes it because
if you lower the rim,
because remember we were watching those. We were watching the highlights of that girl, the high school kids. So one thing that people don't know about sports. This is actually, I know. Sorry to interrupt you, but like that's what I. So the reason I had the take I had was that since the WNBA is subsidized by the NBA, there's literally zero incentive for them to do better, to improve like how they recruit, how they market. Like if your money, if I'm paying you $50,000 to sit down or $50,000 to stand up and go run a mile, the odds of you taking the same money to go run a mile, they're low.
Yeah.
So if so I actually agree with you. If you stop subsidizing them, then they might evolve. You'd have to do it on like a scale, over time.
Yeah.
But because one of the things that we've seen in soccer, like American soccer, like U.S. soccer for all the people who live in other parts of America, and we're the only one that matters. But so in U.S. soccer, there's been once we made academies, So it used to be soccer used to be incredibly pay to play. Like in other countries, soccer is the basic sport. In America, soccer was like hockey, where if you didn't have any money, you couldn't play. You didn't play the sport.
Yep.
You know, like because you could only play it during the school year, whatever. But then a lot of like MLS clubs and USL clubs, to their credit, started making academies free or relatively cheap, and you started seeing a lot more kids develop into like we've got. This time in the 90s, we barely had any Americans playing overseas. Like Europe is the pinnacle of that's because they don't have salary cap, but Europe is the pinnacle of soccer. Yep. We've got almost our entire U.S. men's national team plays their soccer overseas now, full time, because that's how good they are. And I think that if you stop subsidizing the WNBA so hard and then make camps a thing, you'll start to see that new breed of like, you know, I don't care who you are. You can lie. You find me Sue Bird right now, and I'll tell her right to her face. Like she can't tell me that seeing a 13-year-old 6'3", well, I guess a center in WNBA in high school terms, right? Putting it between her legs and dunking, to start a game, that's 1 million views. Yeah, you know, seeing you know the Steph Curry is watching Steph Curry shoot so well. It's only more impressive than watching fun dunks because he does it at such an insanely high level, right? That you have to watch. So if you start camps
in distance,
right? Matters, and sure, like he's an anime character when he's doing when he's shooting. Yes. But like, you know, if we've made camps for the WNBA, I think that it wouldn't work right now, which is the subsidizing thing. But in about 10, 20 years, you'll start to see these high schoolers. You start to see third graders, you know, touching rim, and that's when WNBA will be exciting. Yeah. But but my bad. So that was my opinion. How you gonna fix what's out there?
I mean, we've said a lot already.
Oh, okay.
And I think the WNBA is like already 20 years old. So it's not like they're not starting or in their infancy or anything.
Whoa. The WNBA is it's really only 20 years old?
Yes. I'll look it up real quick, but it's not that old.
It's like 20 years.
The towers got hit and then we started the WNBA.
Oh wait, hold on. Never mind. Hold on. Oh, we're old.
Not. Like I feel like
maybe it's 25 years old. Because the NBA is 75 years old. So maybe the WNBA is 25 years old. Yeah. 96.
Wow. Yeah. We're a lot older than we think. Yeah. The WNBA was 5 years before the Twin Towers. So it's 26 years old?
26 years old.
26 years old. Yeah. That's actually really young. So
it's very young.
I think that's actually something that I didn't even really think about.
So that's why they're still all into fundamentals, because basketball was fundamentals from like 1950, whatever, 1970 something.
Right. But luckily we live in an accelerationist period in time where we can just throw money at a problem and it might
and it solves it.
Like, it hasn't solved this one.
No. Well, no, they haven't thrown money at it. So there's a difference between throwing money, like you're like, here's $1 million, go make it work. And they're like, what's the bill? What's the check? And then you cut the check at the end of the dinner. I mean, that's not improving the meal. Like, you know, like.
Right. All right. So the next thing, give me G League salary stats, because this is important.
Oh, you don't want to see that.
Yeah.
G League for WNBA?
No. The WNBA doesn't.
Oh, for NBA?
The WNBA doesn't have a G League. The NBA is a G League.
Because they are the G League.
No, they're also not the G League.
Yeah, they're not even at that level. I wouldn't put them at that level.
But this is what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay. So, all right. I don't mean to laugh. Sorry, women. The basic G League. The basic G League, what's 74,000 times 12? What, or 7,400, sorry, my bad.
7,400 times 12?
Yeah.
70,000 times.
Well,
it's 88.
88. So they make, so a high schooler right now who graduated from high school, went to the G League instead of going to college, will make 88 grand if he's considered. If a team selects him as a select player, like this guy is on our roster, but we need him to develop in the league, that's 125,000. So that's they're
fucking high school.
Yes, we're talking
boys
about
beat WNBA
Yeah. I mean, a G League team would absolutely whoop the WNBA champs. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true.
I don't. You're right now. The state champion, Indiana high school state champion boys could probably beat with UConn women's team. No offense to them. But if the fact that I look at your eyes. The fact that you have to think about it, you're like, well.
No, I have a question.
Well is the point. Yeah, go ahead.
What percentage of the NBA's viewers are female?
Probably 35.
No. We have a
You wanna
computer.
look it up? All right, I'll
Yeah,
look it
yeah. I'm curious to know that
so
number.
actually, you're probably going to go on before I start, you're going to probably actually go on my point, because my whole point of that is because I did the math on, so let's say the average arena for an NBA team holds, say, 10,000 people, right?
Sure.
If it holds 10,000 people and each of those tickets costs like $10 just to make it easier, that's $100K per game, 80 games a season. If you could get half that for every WNBA game, 30 times a season, if they had half the numbers of just I'm not talking about television deals, I'm not talking merch sales.
You're talking straight
ticket sales, people showing up, just because most WNBA arenas are in college or pro arenas. So 5,000 people going to the WNBA game would be.
I think all of them are pro arenas right now.
Right.
I don't think anybody doesn't share an arena.
Don't we have one?
Yes.
Yeah,
the Fever play.
And
Do the Fever play where the Pacers?
Yeah. Yep. If they did that, that would bring in more revenue than they've ever made. So not even people watching it on TV, not people buying any merch.
Are you saying making the tickets $10?
Yeah.
No, having 5,000 people show up at $10
I
a
was
piece.
making I was giving you an example of like simple math.
Because they got to get
because
asses
there's more
and
to
seats.
right.
That's
there's
50. That's 50 grand a game over how many games?
30. They pay. They play
So
30.
$1.5 million a team.
That's more than that's more than they bring in per team.
Yeah.
You got to Like, so just
Is that how many games there are? 30 games though?
I think they're 30. I'll look it up.
It might be 40. It might be a half season, which is why they have
That's
so
the other
much
part
time
too.
to be in Russia.
But the NBA, they have 82 games, 84
82
games.
games. Yes.
Man, I don't know why I know that.
Hey, you.
Yeah, I guess.
There are 34 WNBA games.
34. Okay.
So they don't even play half of what the NBA plays.
Correct.
Which actually I agree with, because so one of the main differences that WNBA has to NBA is it's our old soccer style.
Right.
They play so it used to be that you would play in MLS off season, and then you would try to apply your trade in Europe because you would make the rest of your money there. So that's a Brittany Griner situation. She's stuck in Russia now because she was playing in Russia, making unfortunately like triple the money she makes here to play over there.
Way more. She makes over $1 million. in Russia.
To play over there.
So then why the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I have the biggest issue that I have, I guess, hearing that is why complain if there's a it's one of those things.
No, if your question is why would I have to leave my country to make a decent living, that's a weird statement.
You do realize that that's like 80% of the entire population of our country right now, though, right?
What do you mean?
Just our labor market's so undervalued that everybody could figure out a way to make more money if they didn't live here. Now, granted, I'm not saying that that's
That's the wildest thing you ever said.
Are you kidding me?
Somebody.
That's true at all.
Yeah, you cut that. Cut that
here, no, I'm not even cutting that out. The fact that you're playing a game, first off, I can never get off of that. It's still entertainment.
Sure.
It's still a game. It's still whatever. Go where people want to watch you have entertainment.
Entertainment careers aren't real.
It's not, it doesn't count. It's not, I have to leave my country to do this. It's how much money could you make doing any other job, not in entertainment, but you chose to be in entertainment.
Okay.
Go where people want your brand of entertainment.
Twofold issue. Here's the twofold. The primary issue is actually, I'm alluding back to what you said. The reason why I'm assuming you asked how many women watch the NBA, because that should be their main audience for the WNBA.
Well, those are the people mostly complaining, or is women complaining that men don't support female sports. Right.
So,
but they don't support them.
Correct. And it's a twofold problem. That's the camp solution. The camp, as far as I go, like, you're not wrong. There's no way Russian basketball should, in any incarnation, should make more money than American basketball.
Correct.
The problem is, this is why I asked Larry to kind of give his take on that, because it is not only it's terrible marketing, but it's a lack of investment in the fundamentals of it in general. Like, so the USFL is a really good USFL and XFL are really good examples of why this doesn't work and why the G League works so well. The G League teams are attached to NBA teams.
Yep.
So you can take a high schooler, which is making the NCAA super mad, but you could take an 18-year-old kid who he's ranked as a 5-star, and you can go to him and say, hey, you want to play at Kentucky for a year? Or would you like to sign with the Pacers, go up to Fort Wayne, play for them for $84,000 for a year?
Yep.
Because in college basketball.
Right. No, I know.
By the way, the G League forced NIL.
What is NIL?
And so in college football, which is a whole different conversation, it's going nuts. It's college football.
I know you can't get paid if you're basically in college.
You can now. No, you can't.
Or in college football, you can, because that's why NCAA is coming back for video games, because that's why they stopped in 2013
or whatever.
NIL
is.
NIL is.
Name, image, likeness is so it's form and function. The form is you're getting paid for your name, image, and likeness. The function is just a bunch of rich boosters throwing money at you.
Yeah.
So the Tennessee just got a 5-star recruit. Tennessee's okay. They're an okay school. Not great. They're in the SEC. They're in the best conference, quotes, but they're at the bottom. But they're in the bottom of the best conference. They just got the best quarterback for next year because the boosters, so basically people who used to go to that school, like alumni.
Legacy.
Yeah.
They say, hey, we'll give you $8 million just to come to campus. There's no way in hell you're going to convince a 17-year-old not to. If you were 17 years old and they're like, hey, I know you haven't thrown a down yet. I know you haven't thrown a college pass yet. Before you step on campus, you're going to have $8 million in your pocket. What happens if I'm bad? We already gave you the $8 million.
Yeah. And that's why it's going to Miami.
I don't see what the problem is.
Right. So the problem is
that's because you're like us.
The problem is a have and have nots kind of thing.
Right.
So Tennessee has a bunch of rich, benefactors. A school like North Texas, the most they could offer you would be like $10,000.
Yeah.
And a sandwich.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to compete with that.
But you will get a Subway card.
It will be from last Christmas, and it'll have.
Don't you get traded for a Subway gift card in one of the NBA games, or a sandwich contract or something?
Yeah.
It's in one of the NBA games.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, the sandwich cart man gave us all a deal if you get the fuck out of here. So.
But yeah, so that's. So the G League is a good example of like that's why those sports work, because like you're developing young kids in the system already. You're already athletically gifted. My whole argument, anybody who says like, oh, Wilt would have ran today's NBA. No, fight me. He's not, he
I know he wouldn't have.
He would have been good. That's not the same thing as like, he wouldn't have been putting up 100 spots on plumbers. Like Giannis versus Wilt.
Right.
That's a game 7. And I don't even know if Wilt
do you guys know who Christian Wood is?
Oh no, go ahead. Help me out.
So Christian Wood is like, genetically, he's Wilt. Like he's that size and he's that long and he's that lanky. He's not overly strong. And in today's NBA, on a good night, he might put up 20.
Oh,
and that's that's the reality of it. Like physical prowess, like that's who Wilt would be in today's NBA. Unless you get into the argument of, well, he would have trained different. Like, sure, maybe. Yeah, but if you just picked him up and put him here.
Sure, but that's actually the point of what we're saying. Like, it's development. Like, so if the WNBA had camps, like, it wouldn't be popular now, but in 10, 15 years, we would have these women, like, there'll be 7 foot, like, there's like China's.
They've had camps since like the 1950s.
Bro. Not the same. Hey. Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying they've been a popular idea for a long time. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know what they did at those camps. I'm just saying I've been hearing about them for a while.
Sure, but there's like a 7'1", 14-year-old Chinese kid right now, and like she looks unchallenged. Like she is unchallenged. She's 7'1".
She also looks
years old.
Awful considering the size of it.
Well, yeah, because right. Yeah. So like she doesn't have to play. Like she literally she just runs down there. She walks, wobbles down the court.
She's knock-kneed.
Right. When you're 7 feet tall and 14, you don't have a lot of. You're not physically put together well. You're just gigantic.
Right.
So they just throw the ball. They just
shout out Chet.
One person. Right. Yeah. Shout out Chet. To eat a sandwich if you need to. Like but yeah, like they just. So one person just rockets the ball down the court. She obviously gonna catch it. She's 7'1", and she just puts it in the fucking basket.
Quite literally.
So she needs to be over here.
Yeah.
Playing at an American high school, learning how to actually play basketball.
Because she has no skill level.
She has no skill level. She's just bigger than everybody, And then over time, she'd get there.
Yeah. Completely agree. So that brings us to our next point. You have to get 1-to-1. That's the only way. You have to get 1-to-1.
Which means?
So the G League works, and the G League isn't quite 1-to-1, but it's very, very close. I think there's only 2 teams right now that share a team. There was a point in time there were only like 8 G League teams, and it was trash because there were 6 teams sharing 1 team. But now they're basically 1-to-1. That's the only way the WNBA works, is if you get a counterpart for an NBA team. As long as you're going to subsidize them, you might as well have a WNBA counterpart. Right. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense because there's no competition level. Like,
I still don't think that. Here's the thing for me, and I guess I get the viewpoint of I don't watch this, so whatever. But I don't really watch the NBA
No, that's
either.
No, this is actually a good point.
But the whole,
you're the best audience.
But the whole thing is like, the fact that there are so many videos of the WNBA or women's basketball at all that are like, hey, watch us do possession, and they somehow miss 18 layups in a row, and more than one of those videos exists, and there's none of those in the NBA. I've never seen. That's
not true, but
hold on.
I know what
you get what I'm saying. There's so much, and everybody's like, it's fundamentals, but they don't want to accept the fact that the reason men's sport, for the most part, at least over here, I can't speak for obviously like Europe and all that. It's the physicality of it.
It's
the competitive.
In Europe, it's very fun. Like
which is maybe why.
That's what makes like most European players who come over here. That's why they have such an easy time transitioning, because they go from like you
or they don't.
No, there's a lot of so one of the
or they don't.
Okay.
But hold up. So, I'm just saying it's not fun. It's not fun to watch, right? Like if you here, it's the like.
You're saying you
women's
don't enjoy
UFC,
FIBA.
Women's UFC, fun as fuck to watch, right? Like there's some really great fights there have been for years, but they're not putting the women up to the men's standards. They're not finding, they're not saying, oh, well, the men fight the lowest here. You got to fight. This is your lowest weight class or whatever. They don't put it to those standards. They say, we're going to put you against like your size, your weight classes, all that. Just, it's the same concept, but they still beat the shit out of each other and it doesn't change anything. But the WNBA says, hey, I'm going to make these rules very similar to men's basketball. And it's not going to be that no matter how skilled one of the women are, they're not the same size. They're not the same, whatever. But if they're playing to, hey, we're going to do exactly what the men can do. You're just like, regardless of feminism and equality and all that kind of shit, you just physically can't. Like if you find a 7 foot tall woman, that's like saying you found an 8.5 foot tall man. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's
right. But that's again.
Well, and your argument is that
my argument is it literally, I think it just comes down to is just saying, hey, if on average women are 15% shorter than men, the average man versus the average woman, everything should be 15% smaller. Sure. And then that way they're playing at the same level. They have a ladies' tee in golf.
Yep.
And you don't hear too many people, bitching about that. They're just
also have ladies' clubs.
Yeah. So they other sports have changed things like, oh, the size of the ball. I'm like, nobody gives a fuck about the size of the ball. People want to be able to see a woman shove it down somebody else's throat, go up and dunk, get in the paint and really do some shit. Because if the only thing you're going to be able to do is get in the paint and then throw a layup up, what the fuck fun was that? I want to see you posterize somebody. I want to see you demolish somebody. I want to see you get down there and, fucking be as competitive as you can be, but play at I don't know. It's wild to me that they want to fight this fight of like, no, we have to keep it the same as the NBA or we'll never be taken seriously. I'm like, okay, well, I guess you've only been around for, 26 years at this point, and people still don't take you as seriously. I could probably name at least 30, 40 NBA players.
Yeah.
And I don't know shit.
Well, no. So what I'm actually I'm going to counter your point with a weird point. You don't have to be, I'm in agreement with you on the athletic skill issue. I'm in disagreement on.
It's not a skill. I'm not saying they're less athletic.
No.
I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying less athletic. I'm saying
no.
Less physical.
Right. No. If you're smaller, if you're a 7 foot woman and a 7 foot man, the woman is going to have less skill. I don't mean technicality. Like she might know how to dribble. She might know how to. It won't be athletic. Right?
As a 7 foot male, because a 7 foot woman is more of an anomaly than a 7 foot man.
But to my point, the reason why I think you can fix the WNBA is because it does not matter what physical talents you have. It matters how marketable you are.
Correct.
But the reason why I'm about to ask, what do you think the highest paid table tennis player in the world makes per year?
Table tennis?
Yeah, table
like
tennis.
ping pong?
Yeah, ping pong.
I'm going to say 1.5.
No, way more than that, because you're talking about like in the whole world?
In the whole world.
So you got like China and all that shit.
And they love that shit.
You're talking like 20 mil, I bet.
10?
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like, it does not matter. If I watch table tennis, I'm like, that's a fun novelty.
Yeah.
But
the whole thing is America would never pay that. So guess what?
Ooh,
You
that's a good
go
question.
to the place
What
where
is
you're
the highest tabletop
Yep,
tennis
there,
player
look that
in
up.
America?
Because then that just goes back to my point. You shut the fuck up if somebody will pay you. Go entertain those people.
No, you're missing my point. I will look that up. But my point is that it does not matter what you perceive something to be.
It's all about what people will pay for it.
Right, it's what people will pay. If you're like, this thing is less talented. Hold on.
No, I'm saying I think people would be more willing to pay if it was just as physical as the NBA.
Okay, fair. All right, so I completely agree. If they lowered the net, shorten the
We
shorten
all
the court,
think that's
shorten the court in general.
That's the magic bullet. Is it just lower the rim.
net, shorten the court itself.
I don't think they have to shorten
They're
the
too
court.
slow. I'm gonna say it.
What's the
like women don't move nearly as fast. Like it's weird. It's physically weird to watch Giannis be able to bounce the dribble one time
Because he's so lengthy,
Right.
he can
dribble
get there.
one time and he can make the distance of the court.
So
but that's because
all
athletes
around
have been-
miniaturizing
But hold up
of
again.
the
Yes.
playing field, and I
Yeah.
agree with
But
that.
then but then as generations go, as camps go, you widen that out. Right.
Yeah.
We play when we play 7 aside on soccer, the field is smaller.
Right.
If we tried to play 11-11, I'd be like, this is insane. This is way bigger. There's more people. I can't acclimate to this. But eventually, playing enough 7 aside, I could. You shorten it for physical, like if the men's basketball started having to shoot beach balls, it'd be way funnier. But it would be much harder to watch them shoot beach balls and dunk beach balls on a 12-foot rim. But eventually
they get good at it.
they get good at it.
You're right.
So I would love to see a version of men's basketball right now with the beach ball and a 12-foot rim.
Right. Slam ball was a thing.
Slam ball was a thing.
But look up how much the highest paid U.S. table tennis player makes. I'm still very interested about that because I would float back to still in an entertainment world.
Right.
Go where people want your brand of entertainment. Yeah. And if we can prove, which we have, we don't pay soccer players nearly as much as Europe does. We're not going to pay no $10 million for a fucking ping pong player. You know, if Forrest Gump didn't make $10 million, I don't think anybody's going to make $10 million.
That's fair.
Playing fucking table tennis, right?
That's fair.
But nobody's trying to come over here. We're trying to have something said, hey, you're sexist because you don't support this, but you support the men's version of it. And, you know, I'm sure that there's an ounce of truth in that. But again, if women are also not participating or watching or paying, my new question is, should they even care about saving the WNBA? What's the purpose of forcing something to be
You don't have to worry
saved?
about saving the WNBA. It'll exist as long as the NBA exists.
Well, right, but I'm just saying, but then
as a parasite, it is a leech.
Yeah.
It does not make money.
But if the argument is how could we make it better? The NBA probably doesn't want to make it better because it's where they hide a bunch of their money, and it's easier for tax purposes to put it into something that loses them money.
It's not that. It's that the NBA, for the entirety of the WNBA, has existed solely as an angel donor. Like they're hands off. They just let the WNBA do what it does.
So then keep letting it do what it does. I don't understand why everybody wants to say.
No, hold on. The goal.
I don't know if it can be fixed. Is my point.
Right. So the goal. So here it's kind of the funniest experiment because the goal would be to see if you can. It would be like it's like playing Dark Souls. It's the Dark Souls of sports world. You're like this thing is going to exist no matter what. Can I make it profitable? Worst case scenario, the answer is no, but we all still get paid the exact same.
Right. Nobody lost.
That's the point. The point is, he says he thinks he can do it. I also think I could. It would just take so long.
But I don't know. But I'm saying, what's the point?
Yes.
The point.
No, that's the point. Yes.
Yeah.
What's the point of the show? What's the point of what's the point of any hobby?
Yeah.
The WNBA is a hobby.
It is a hobby. That's true.
It's
because it's for most people, it's a side job.
It's a shot, right? The WNBA is a hobby that they would like to turn. So hold on. The WNBA is a YouTube channel. You do it. It's great. You enjoy it. If you would love for it to make enough money
to stick around.
To stick around.
But you're saying it will always stick around.
Yeah,
right.
Because it's got
so it don't matter
on accident.
And it don't matter.
Okay, you're not wrong.
So no, the only reason I say yes because I say it matters because have you ever won anything? There's no if you participate in an endeavor, the endeavor is going to end at some point. Would you like the endeavor to end with you winning something or you participating in something?
Who are you asking? Me as the angel donor or me as the player?
I'm asking you if you are involved. Right. So Here's the problem. The problem is you're going to give me a snarky answer.
No, I'm not going to give you a snarky answer. If you asked me 2 years ago.
If you're playing a sport right now.
Okay.
You're getting paid out of the way.
Yep.
You're telling me you're not giving me 100% effort. You know the check's the same either way, which is not, because obviously champions get paid more. But let's assume everyone in the league gets the exact same check at the end of the season. You're telling me you're phoning it in? Or you're giving 110% because you don't want to go home a loser? And
but that's not the question I'm asking.
No. That's the question I'm asking.
Yeah, but then I guess I don't. But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I don't understand the point of that. Yeah, obviously I want to win. I don't want to.
The person winning the WNBA.
We play soccer. We pay to play soccer, and we still want to win, and we don't get nothing but knowing that we win.
The commissioner of the WNBA's goal, she's getting paid out of the way. Do you want to be known as the person who finally turned the WNBA into a profitable business, or the person who collected a check? Sure, if you want to collect a check.
I'm not playing the game at that point. I'm going to collect my check.
Really? Sure, right. So that makes you a different type of person.
No, I think that's most. If you took and said, hey, even if you made this profitable, what's the gain? So how much more money does she gonna make though?
So you're telling me,
or he gonna? I don't even know who runs
that's an athlete thing.
So no. So
but that's not. You're not playing the game. You're.
Have you ever worked at a company that has a ranking system?
Yep.
Right. So have you ever saw your ranking at the end of the week or the month and been like, it does not matter what this number is, I'm not going to open this email? Or have you gone, I'm ranked in the top 1,000 in the company. I'm top of the district. That's great. If the answer is, I've never looked at an email.
No, it's not a scale thing. Is it possible? So you're asking me, yeah, I did do that. And right. I did that because we worked at the same place. But once I found out that it no longer mattered and my check was getting to be the same regardless, I could put in the same amount of effort as everyone else who was still getting the check that I was getting. Yeah. I stopped caring what my ranking was because what the fuck's the point?
Oh, no, but you know what you did at the end of that job? You left that job.
Do what?
You left that job because you realized that the effort that you put in wasn't.
But it was never going to matter. That's the difference. So the commissioner of the WNBA
will get paid more.
But it's never going to matter.
Hold on.
No.
The commissioner of the WNBA will get paid more if the league is profitable.
If the league's more profitable, she gets paid more.
But haven't they? That's my point, though. What's the percent it's gone up year over year?
Oh, never. That's the
so okay. So if you want to be the person that literally broke your back and killed yourself to make how much more, how unprofitable is it versus?
Let's say we're not talking about physical labor. She's not physical labor.
No, but it's still okay. But answering emails and doing phone calls and never sleeping and having to do this, it's a different kind of work, right? But let's say they lose $1 million a year, $20 million a year, whatever the fuck the number is, right? And it can be scalable to this point. What percentage of money do I make once it's profitable? Just breaks even. What percentage of money do I get once it breaks even for all the work that I put in to make it break even?
Well, that we don't know.
We don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. I can't imagine that she's getting is it a woman that runs the WNBA? I keep saying she, but I don't know.
All right. So in general, think about this. I'm only going to go on the assumption. This is all assumptions because we don't know her contract. If they're willing to pay her $2 million while taking a negative, there's got to be something in her contract. There's got to be, because you got to think about it, Richard Sherman. Everybody thought he was funny for taking an incredibly incentive laden deal contract. He's an older cornerback, not nearly as good as he used to be. And
is that the Cam Newton thing when he went to the Patriots? Is that something that?
No, Richard Sherman has never gone to the Patriots. He went to the 49ers, but
Cam Newton went to the Patriots.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
I'm asking if it's the same kind of contract where it was incentive based if you did certain shit.
Yes and no. So Cam
at the base level, yes.
The thing about quarterbacks.
I don't know what Richard Sherman's thing was. I was just asking if it's the same. You have to do X to get money.
His contract was so back end laden that the 49ers was like, oh, we'll take that bet. Yeah, we'll gamble on that. And he was like, sure. Okay, I think I can hit all these metrics. If I hit all these metrics, there's a difference between $1 million and $10 million. And he hit all his metrics. He would have gotten a minimum of $1 million. Great. He would have collected that check. But he said, if I hit these incentives, I'll get $10 million. And he said, that's why I made that bet. Because $1 million is great. And I will collect that check no matter what. But I entered this to the reason why he didn't take a guaranteed $3 million contract, because he said, I can hit these numbers. That's the same thing that she's probably. There's no player, there's no athlete or person who takes a job in general where they're, that's the reason why people take commission jobs, in my opinion, in the first place. If someone's like, hey, I'll give you $10,000 to take this job, or $30,000 if you hit all these things, but you'll make a minimum of $9,000 if you fail. They're probably taking that deal. You know, that's like, you know, I'll take the $1,000. You know, I'll take the hit off that to you know. But you guess it's not.
Is the commissioner in charge of making the like? Could they make the hoop or not the hoop?
Yeah,
the rims lower.
She wanted to, right. But that's so.
I mean, you probably have to run that through a board.
You have to run it through a board, but I legitimately.
So then the commissioner doesn't even have any power to do that.
No, yeah, like Adam Silver still has power. You know, Roger Goodell still has power.
Yeah,
he has to talk to the owners for things, but owners usually stay out of most matters that don't directly affect their pocketbooks. So, like lowering if. But
the players don't even make more money in this scenario necessarily, right? Like it would be her
so
first.
Television deals, so TV deals. So the reason why the NBA makes so much, if you think about it, so think about this number in football terms, they do play more games, so that's something to take into account. But an NFL stadium fits 55,000 people. An NBA arena fits like 10,000 people. Mm-hmm. Those ticket sales aren't a bulk of LeBron's $30 million annually. It's the TV deals,
right? It's endorsements and stuff,
right? So. For a WNBA player, their goal would be to be as widely known as possible because they could sign a shoe deal that's worth 10 times more than the contract they're playing for. And if I had to take a guess, that's probably most of their issues. It's the small time, like role players are worried about getting a check at the end of the game.
Yep.
The people like Sue Bird, Candace Parker, all of them, they're worried about a shoe deal. They're worried about commercial rights, stuff like that. That's the reason why. And
that's because they're fighting for such a minimal salary.
Right.
Like, and that's what I'm saying.
That's just the part I can't.
At the very least,
I can't understand that part of it. Because if you told me I could. If you told me I could go to Russia and get a shoe deal, if you told me I could go to Russia to get.
They're still doing
Wait, hold on. Do you understand that they all are going to Russia?
They're still doing that.
Right, but then they come over here and say, I want treated like I get treated over there.
Yeah.
Right.
And to me, that's. Okay, but I don't know. There's nothing wrong, but there's nothing wrong with saying it. But
yeah, so
they're literally talking. Hold on. They're the definition of talking about it and being about it. Yeah. They're saying, "Hey, I want what I get over there over here. I'm still going to do that thing over there as long as it takes for me to get that over here. And if that's never, that's fine."
Because Taurasi's team, her Russian team, paid her to sit out the WNBA season.
Right.
They said, "What's your salary?" She said $220. They said, "Cool, you got that." And we got that next year too. So you sit out for 2 seasons and only play for us. And she's like, yeah.
Now, if your point is people who aren't going and taking those endeavors and complaining, I got you. I'm on your side. But the majority of them are talking about it and being about it. They're saying, hey, I'm getting that Russian cash, ruble. That's not worth that much now. And I'm coming, but that's probably why they're pushing so hard. They're like, this ruble not worth that much. And they like, we need that American money. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're doing both. Like, that's literally the quintessential argument here is that they're saying, like, we would love to not do both because NBA players don't have to do both.
Right.
Obviously, they have
and
a better
also because competition
but
in the WNBA is better.
Yes. Like, which you got to say, crazy. They're taking people who win, who get knocked out.
Okay, how much money do you get paid to do the Olympics?
Not much.
Very little.
Okay, so hold up. So if the only point is you want good competition and they're not playing over there and you can come get better competition, then the money shouldn't matter, right?
No, that's not the same.
Well, the Olympics is only every 4 years.
Yeah, it's every 4 years.
But the Olympians would do it every year if you told them that they could always go against the best of the best.
No, they would not because it's a year's worth of training. They financially could not.
But from an athletic, from an athletic standpoint, I'm not trying to isolate it. The argument just keeps being, you want to fight the best, you want to be the best, you want to do the best for whatever.
Yeah.
So if doing that, but it doesn't seem like if they're coming over here and saying let me
reframe it then. So the argument is not that they don't have an avenue. The argument is that this is the best competition and this is our career. Being an Olympian, as cool as that is, not a career. Like that's something that you do in addition to something else.
U.S. men's players bow out all the time.
Exactly. Because they're like,
Olympics? What's 10 grand?
Right.
What's 10 grand to a millionaire?
Exactly.
Wait, so if I gave you $10 to go play basketball after that, for months, but you have to train a year to do it, you wouldn't do it. It wouldn't make any sense.
And for the most part, almost all Olympians have either a for real job or they are so well known that they can make money off of their name, which is the dream scenario, but it's for like a fraction of people. So nobody views the Olympics as a career. That's just a thing that you do because you're elite. They're saying this is our career, but we can't live correctly off of just of our career. We have to go subsidize our career in another country.
But so does,
and that's all they're saying.
Again, most of our country.
But that's not true.
That's
Yeah, it
not
is.
even kind of true. What are you talking
Bro, what are you talking about? You tell me that most people don't have two jobs at this point?
Hold on. But I normally don't do this, but you can't. I'm not going to allow you to make a normal human being comparison to professional athletes. It's not the same thing.
Right.
It's not the same. You can't say
it's still a job. It is the same thing. If your job isn't going to pay you,
sure. So
you go do the thing that does pay you, so you can do the thing you're passionate about. You said that.
So hold on. I'm going to bow out of this argument because there's no way to have an argument that says people on a different plane, like the CEO of a company doesn't have two jobs. The grunt does. Professional athletes are on the level of a CEO from when the moment they step into money wise, just like the rookie contract for an NFL.
No, it's not a money wise thing. It's a how.
No.
You're not in control.
You can't make analog comparisons to trades that don't have any kind of the same hierarchy in general. Like, you could be. You're saying that the average American worker has to work two jobs. So if a professional basketball player has to, that is fine. No, you have to put it to scale in that same realm. So take professional athletes, all of them, and you compare them. You don't compare a professional athlete to a bricklayer. Doesn't make any sense. You don't compare the hours that a chef works to the hours that an IT person works. Like, not necessarily. You can go. They're completely different fields. You compare how many hours this chef works to how many hours this chef works. Unless his goal is, should I leave my job to be an IT guy? Then you compare the apples to oranges. Right. But you don't compare apples to oranges to try to make a point. Professional athletes need to be compared in the realm of professional athletes. Now, if you're
so then what do you compare female professional athletes to other female professional athletes and not the male counterpart?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. So right. So you do that. Now you make your point using the comparison you just made.
Well, my only point would be is how much do they make compared to other female professional athletes in other sports?
Yeah. So
how much does Serena Williams make? She's the best of the best in tennis.
Fuck God. Absolute shit pile.
It's not even fucking
millions.
Pick the person. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. There's probably not anywhere you could land that's going to be less unless we're talking about something that's not
maybe the curling,
not nationally
maybe the
sanctioned.
national curling team.
No, what I'm saying is, are the other things on par? Does a female golfer make?
If you're successful, if you're the winner, sure, a lot more. Hold on, I got you real quick.
But you're talking about you did the whole thing, like you the best of the best. The women's fucking soccer team got shitty, and their contract or whatever. We talked about that before, but they sued, and I think they actually won.
They
that argument.
Yeah, they get both now.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
but that's all that the WNBA is trying to do. Like, if you want to compare it to another job, they are a union, and they're asking the union to fight for more money.
We're not arguing equality. You're arguing. We're arguing.
No, not arguing equality. I'm saying I can't.
They want equity.
I can't understand, but it's not like anybody in their corporation is taking everything and then giving them nothing.
Well, I kind of disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. So, for one,
because that's
back to coaches. Again, I'm not saying that their money would be life altering for the WNBA, but I am saying from an optics point and from a, hey, we need this to be fair, they can't be making 10 times what their players make. There's no other situation in professional sports where the coach makes 10 times as much as the max contract player. That's an impossible situation.
Right, but I mean, I can't reach it. I can't reach it. That's what Jamie's for. I can't reach it.
So that's where
you a bad Jamie, bro.
So that's where.
Hey, he's another one. You tip him upside down first.
Okay. Again, you have to get 1-to-1, and the reason why you have to get 1-to-1 is because you have no fandom. And the only way that you create fandom right now is by leeching off.
How old was the NBA when the players started making more than the coaches?
Oh, it was really so. You remember? Oh, you haven't watched it yet, which we should probably watch for the show. They're doing a show right now about the Lakers, the Showtime Lakers. The
thing on HBO.
You got to think so. Magic Johnson. How much do you think Magic Johnson made a year?
I'm gonna say
when he started or when he ended.
100 bands.
But when he started or when he ended?
When he started, 100 bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how much did his coach make?
Well, coaches, that was different. They made like 50,000, something like that, 60,000.
Yeah. You know that, but you know that though.
Right. If you watch the show, that's what I'm saying. Like he said, he was like, so you can even do it for football players. Was it Primetime? He signed like a $8 million contract.
What's a Primetime?
Neon. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Leon Sandcastle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's what I know. Leon Sandcastle. I don't know Primetime.
Or actually, do you know who? It might help. Do you know who Steve Young is? Joe Montana?
Yeah.
Right. So, hold on, give me 1 second.
Like I know who Steve Nash is.
Hell yeah, you do.
I got told I looked like him a lot when I was like 13.
He coaches the Nets now.
He used to have a ponytail.
He did.
On the Suns.
I don't think he ever really rocked a ponytail, to be honest.
Yeah, oh no, he had it tied back like a little ponytail thing.
Yeah.
So Joe Montana played for 14 seasons. Do you know how much he made the total over 14 seasons?
$16 million.
Just NBA or not NBA, NFL salary.
Just an NFL salary for 14 years.
16.
1.5.
Well, no, that's too low. That's kind of funny. But yeah, he made $24 million. There are like Tyreek Hill just signed a contract to give him more than that per year, and he's a wide receiver. Yeah. You got to think Patrick Mahomes is making $500 million over
10 years.
Over
10 years. Yeah.
So he's making $50 million per year. Sports scale incredibly quickly in salary cap, which is actually only helps.
Well, that's my question. My question was if we're debating that the coaches are the ones making 7 times, not 10 times, 7 times the money. Right. And that was you took the highest paid coach versus the median player. What's the median coach?
That's the max player. That's the absolute max because there's a max on contracts for players.
Remember, the average was 120.
The average is 120, and you said every coach is making $1 million.
Coach makes 300.
Okay, so
coach makes 300.
They're not even. They're making 2.6 times more. That's
too much.
No, it's not.
That's your maximum.
I actually don't think that it's too much.
It's too much.
How's it too much?
So he's right.
It's too much when you're talking about the fact that the players in the other sports are.
Your argument by you should agree with him right now. Yeah, you should agree with him because what you're saying is he's saying it's too much because in the realm of athletes,
what's the average WNBA player? How long does the average WNBA player play versus the average coach?
Way less. Coaches are coach for 10 years. Coaches are like kickers. You remember Morton Anderson played for the Falcons for like 40 years.
Okay, so if the average, but that's what I'm saying. There's different questions to that though. If you got a coach and the average coach is making, what do you say, 300,000?
Average coach is 300,000, and your max.
But how long? What's the newest coach in the league, and how much should they make?
Hold on, but think about this.
The newest coach in the league is Hammond, and she makes $1 million.
So the maximum that you can make is what? What do they say?
242.
So
something like that.
So the maximum player is still getting out earned by the average coach. So that means every single coach in the league is making more than every single one of their players. Right, that's so upside down.
The reason why I'm saying you should agree with him is because your argument has always been
I'm not disagreeing with him that it's too high. I'm saying he said it was like the CEO argument. I'm like, not really.
I said it wasn't the CEO argument. You asked if it was, and I said maybe.
Oh, then I misheard you. Oh. It's so good, bro. It's very good. It's like blueberry granola breakfast stuff.
But also, though, we're talking about the maximum. So that's like comparing the CEO to the senior VP. When you bring that down to the minimum WNBA contract, which I think is legitimately like $30,000.
But they get paid more if they bring more money in, and they're not.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
No, the coaches don't get paid more.
Not the coaches, the players.
Give me a second.
LeBron makes so much because he brings it.
I got to accidentally help Xavier out.
Okay.
The head coaches earn an average of $3 million per year.
There we go. See, so it is the CEO argument then. Yeah. $3 million compared to.
Okay, but I can't do anything if Jamie 2.0 be giving me wrong numbers.
You're absolutely right.
That has to change.
Right. So it's the assistant coaches make $300K. So that's even more insulting.
That's way more insulting.
This is how you know the NBA doesn't care if they ever make money, and they're using it to dump money so they don't have to pay as much taxes. Which I have said from the jump. Yeah. How long? We at 58 and we trying to stay at like an hour 15.
Okay, give me 10 seconds.
There, go ahead.
All right. Which one of y'all want to move?
I got it. You can slide out here.
Oh, no. That's why I didn't want to be trapped behind a table.
That's a smart move. Yeah, so so the one-to-one comparison, the reason why I was saying it, I mean, it still actually helps his argument because your whole thing where you were saying like, if all of the women get paid across sports in this weird disproportionate way, then that makes it okay.
Does paying the women more bring more money into the game, though?
Hold on. That's never been the argument. The argument is, how do we fix that? And the whole argument is you have to bring in more fans. That's what he was saying before I interrupted him with stats, was that you have to find a way to market better to people, because what I was adding to his argument is that it does not matter at all how good something is, it matters what people are willing to pay for them. Balenciaga just released $1,500.
Those torn up ass sneakers.
It's insane. But you want to know what?
They look like Chucks that are on fire.
Here's the craziest part. If you look up I was on Instagram on the rap page. I don't know if you know who DDG is. It's a rapper. His comment was, wow, it's finally good to have some real fashion in here. Here's what's silly about that. He's a millionaire. So the concept of him paying $1,500 for some literally torn up shoes means nothing. But all it does is help Balenciaga sell those dumb torn up shoes because it's the equivalent of me paying $1 for a sandwich.
I don't know, man. I saw those shoes and I've had shoes that look like that. I'm like, these garbage. I saw those and I was like, damn, those kind of look good. And that's how branding works. So WNBA players don't even look as good as thrash sneakers.
Well, no, that's different because but I won't give a homeless person $5, but I'll buy another pair of shoes if I feel like it. That's a bad interpretation. But yeah, so the marketing is what it comes down to for the WNBA. My method would take way too long because you would start marketing the kids, you'd make them better, and then the product would get better, and people would get more invested because camps give a sense of like if
ownership
because if the Pacers have a G League team, so the people in Fort Wayne and Northern Indiana are still attached to the Pacers all the way down here.
Yep.
Soccer does it pretty well because they'll have camps all around Seattle, all around Indy, all around Chicago. So you've got 45 kids, 20 camps. All those parents are now fans of their local team, and then over the years they'll grow up, they'll have kids. That's how you entrench it. That's why in Europe they don't even have paid camps. Their teams are so willing to bet on future talent that they'll go to your house, say, I will give your kid $500 a week to come. Your 7-year-old, I'll give him $500 a week to come and play soccer in our camp because I'm sure I can sell him to Barcelona when he's 18 for $10 million. We're a long way away from something like that, which would be way better in general because it would be great to have clubs come pay people for talent instead of vice versa. Mm-hmm. But soccer is such a big market that you can do stuff like that. But it starts from grassroots up. But my method would take way too long.
So I'm going to fix it quicker.
Go ahead.
All right. First thing, we have to get 1-to-1 because you have to have fandom. Only way they can get fandom right now is by leeching off the NBA. The second thing is the NBA is going to literally subsidize the WNBA. So 5% markup maybe on an NBA ticket. Most fans aren't going to notice that. You probably only go to 2 games a year, but every NBA ticket, because we're now 1-to-1, comes with a WNBA ticket. So every time that you go to an NBA game, you now get a free WNBA ticket.
I was thinking to go a step further.
Well, it's not free. You just surcharge them.
Yeah, they don't know that. They don't know that. That's not how it works.
No. You tricked them. They didn't get a free one. You just every ticket gets a ticket.
Have you ever run a promotion ever?
Yeah.
It's
buy
free.
2 get 1 free one's not really free.
Exactly.
You got to buy 2 things. You got to invest money to get a third
But
thing.
those 2 things don't inherently cost more money to subsidize the free thing.
Yes, they do.
Lots of times
they don't.
Lots of times they do.
You just asked me if I ever did it, and I've done it a ton of times, and the 2 things weren't more expensive to subsidize the free thing.
If you've got $10 and 3 items a piece, that's $30. If you sell one item, let's say if you have 3 items for $10 a piece, $30. Right. You sell one of those items for $30, you've made $20. If you sell all 3 of those items for $60, you've made 60 or 60 minus 30. You made $30. You made $10 more for an additional item, and you can do that at volume. They think they got something for free. You already had the cost built in.
Yep.
No. I just want the words to be right.
That's
raise
insane.
it 5% and trick people into thinking they got a free ticket.
That's crazy.
Again, that's how marketing works.
There's not a single marketing firm in America.
You cannot write.
Hold on.
You get it for free.
Yes,
if people see. But then those tickets would have had to have cost that. No, the tickets would have had to have cost that.
No, sir.
Get no ticket.
The NBA sets the team set league prices every single year. They set ticket prices every single year.
Think about this.
But they should have to say comes with a WNBA ticket. It's the same reason like Grubhub and fucking Uber Eats and shit are getting sued.
Okay, so in general,
it is. It's the same. Hold on. It's the same thing.
I'm gonna be real ableist. The 0.0001% autist market that would be mad that you didn't refer to that ticket as an additional comes with is not, nobody's caring about them. There's nobody who cares about them. You are one of 1 So in an arena full of people, in an arena full of 70,000 people,
I'm telling everybody they tricked them. I'm gonna throw a huge fit.
Sure, and people would literally be more annoyed. You would probably incentivize people to. You know how much more it makes me want to go. Like if I see somebody giving an employee a hard time at like McDonald's,
I want to give the employee a hard time.
No, you would if you were going like
no, it's not. They didn't set the price. Right. I would find. So Jerry Jones
right. So if you're telling right,
that's a name though, right?
So
I got that right.
Yeah. So if you went to Jerry Jones, the Cowboys, like the owner, if you were like, if you walked
about
up to him
an
at a
NBA
restaurant,
problem,
if you walked up to him at a restaurant and said, "I know your tickets were $1 cheaper last year," and you said, "Oh, with free hot dog," no, I know that hot dog is built into that dollar,
right?
He would literally go, dude. He would probably give you $10 to stop talking to him.
All you said is I monetized my being annoying, right. And I'm all for that.
Right, but what I'm saying is like that's how insignificant your complaint would be.
Sounds like my complaint was so significant. I got 10 times the value of that extra dollar I spent.
Sure, I get it. If you have to refine down 1 million pounds of aluminum to save
5 cents.
5 cents. Sure, you got it, buddy. You got it. You did it. You spent $4 billion to get there, but you got it, buddy.
So I said, that is totally a legitimate marketing.
What Larry said was
time.
Trick people and steal from them. I got it. No.
Okay, first of all, we're talking about American corporations. That is literally the playbook.
That is literally, yeah.
How come when I say the playbook on how America runs, I can't make that, but now you out here saying America runs on scams.
When did you say that to
Dunkin'?
Me? America runs on Dunkin'.
No, it's the Northeast, which is annoying as fuck. When I said the average American has to work 2 jobs to barely live, I wasn't allowed to do that. But you can say
no. You were talking about American people, not American corporations.
But you weren't.
But you added all of them, and I'm just saying you said all.
You were talking about American people, not American rich people who play sports. Right, that's completely different.
And again, we're talking about now we are comparing corporations on a level scale.
It's fine.
You steal from Walmart, it's fine. If you steal
Larry
from
Larry saying the WNBA worth 5% of a ticket. I feel you.
Hey, that's it. That's all the tickets
I'm gonna go on record right now. If I steal a pack of gum from Walmart, it's fine. If I steal a pack of gum from my neighbor's house, it's bad.
I agree with that.
Yeah, everybody agrees.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
but So what I was saying. So
hold on.
I think
Larry said 5%.
Right. I would think I would do one better. Mm-hmm. I know what you're probably like. Instead of having it come with a free WNBA ticket, I would go so far as to have WNBA games before NBA games.
That's not a bad idea.
How does it solve? That doesn't really solve anything, though. That's like saying you get a second hamburger for $1.
No.
Like you haven't increased the money. Are you just trying to increase visibility and hoping by increasing visibility
that's literally what
that you end up making more money?
Yes, that's literally what we're trying to do.
So it's a free steak dinner. It's like, come back, I give you a free steak. It's like John Taffert's whole...
But it's not free because you pay for the steak. You pay for it.
Yeah.
But you do and you don't, right? Like you do and you don't.
You better not. You just spent 5 minutes.
So you cannot go back.
You cannot go back.
No. If you raise the ticket thing 5% and then you get a ticket on top of it, right?
Okay.
But then if you say, hey,
if we get to the,
we're going to buy this ticket and you can't even choose to go do the thing. It's just part of the, I didn't pay for the opening act of a band. I went to the main band. How they give up the ticket prices is I may have gone for the opening act. So like, let's say Coheed and Cambria is the fucking headliner. And then Every Time I Die was the opener. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go for both. Like it helped my decision to go.
Sure.
But they decide how the money gets split between opener versus headliner. If you're saying I'm going to raise the ticket 5% and then you can go to this thing for free.
Yeah.
No, but if you say, hey, in order to watch this NBA game, you have to watch this WNBA game. If anything, you're probably not going to get anything from that. That's the previews to a movie. That's people going, nah, I'm going to get drunk first and ignore their shit.
A movie before a movie.
It would be like watching a movie before a movie.
No.
So my issue with that is fatigue.
Well, yeah. Hold on.
I think fatigue-wise, that doesn't work.
Right. So people would start skipping the WNBA game and show up for the NBA game.
Hold on.
Or show up halfway through the WNBA game.
But that's my point. It's the previews of a movie. You don't necessarily want to watch them all the time, and you're
not always doing that. So let's say you know how the NBA slate works. There's a game Tuesday. There's a game Friday. There's a game Saturday.
Right.
That first when you go to the game on Monday, WNBA game on there. When you go to the game on Wednesday, there's a WNBA game on there. When you go to the NBA game on Saturday, there's not a WNBA game on there, but there is a WNBA game on Sunday.
Okay.
My hope would be that eventually, after watching enough Monday, Wednesday little combos, you might be interested in going to the WNBA on Sunday, and then eventually you give them more of their own slots.
Yeah.
The opener opens for a headliner, right?
Yeah. Until it becomes popular.
Until it becomes popular enough that it can sell a show on its own.
I think those two things.
But then you
can
still have to
work in
lessen the
conjunction.
WNBA as a whole. Cause like Larry said, you fatigue them.
But I think
So the game's gonna have to be 30 minutes instead of an hour.
I'm complete. Oh, I am so. You were helping my argument because that's what I said earlier. I said I want the entire WNBA.
But we all agree.
Miniaturize
We
it,
all agree that if they made it smaller, it would be better. But they refuse to do
I
that.
think we're working around the
remember,
confines of
remember,
not shrinking it.
He's the commissioner right now.
Right.
No, yeah, you can shrink it if you want
I
to.
mean, I can. You're
the
right.
commish.
But I think that also like. So here's the thing. I think for them, shrinking it feels like defeat.
Okay, so you're not shrinking it.
I'm not shrinking it. Like I said, the magic bullet is shorter court, smaller rims, shorter play time. That's the magic bullet. That's
shrinking
fixes
it.
Yes, that's the magic bullet.
No, right. He's saying right, but he's saying they're not going to.
I'm saying we're
allow
not taking the magic bullet. Like we're trying to do it around the confines of the way the actual game
That will never get
structured
fixed.
already.
It will never get fixed that way.
Well, okay. Or we could listen to what I got to say about it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
You kidding me? You cut him off more than I have.
yeah, but it's funnier when I tell you.
I got it. I should shut up. As the baseline consumer here that doesn't care about sports, I just want to watch fun shit.
Right.
And I'm telling you, if you don't do those things, most people are never going to think it's fun to watch, so they're not going to do it.
sure, because we're not targeting most people. We're just targeting sports fans right now.
But they don't even care.
They don't right now. That's why I'm trying to help them. So you get the free ticket. And yes, I'm calling it a free ticket.
That's fine. Okay, I'll stop on that. You get your fake free ticket. I got you. You're a 15.
NBA
I got
teams
you.
set their ticket prices every single year. They change them every single year. So at the start of the next league year, it's 5% more. I'm telling you that. I'm not telling fans that. And it comes with a free WNBA ticket. I don't think we have to have them on the same day yet. I think that's too rough. I think maybe on like one day a week, we do a double header, like maybe like a Saturday or something where people have the time. And maybe on those days, maybe you give a round just because, but I think that gives you two things. One, it puts asses in seats, which is the first problem. And two, you get the profitability of working off of the NBA, and you got to do it on so many levels. It starts at tickets. It starts with merch. It starts with making things viral. So number one play from this year, I think something like 6 billion views in total for the NBA. And of those 6 billion, John Morant's dunk, right? And that's one play generating something like 4 million or 40 million. I don't know. One of those two. More eyeballs than the WNBA's had all year long. And that goes to show you that it just takes one exciting thing. But the biggest problem WNBA has is that no one's seen anything that they did. They had a really aggressive campaign this year for March Madness, and it was a black screen that just said women's basketball, and it played back the sound of a game, and it was like some girl hitting a step back jumper to ice a game, and they're like, "But you didn't see that." And like, yeah, that's exactly right. We didn't see that, and it's an ingenious marketing ploy, except for it's not doing anything.
So here's what's crazy about that. I legitimately was like, wow, what a good marketing idea. Yeah. But also I'm like, damn, it's kind of funny because I didn't see that. Mm-hmm. So it only adds to
that. Yeah. So it's great. But it's the biggest issue is that they can't get any eyeballs. And that's how you get them, because at this point you have to give away tickets.
Do you think it would help to literally, like, some stadiums, like if it's a different sport, like for high school basketball, in some state championships they'll block off some of the seats in the arena to make everybody have to sit in one area.
Absolutely.
To make it seem as if
they should never sell a bleachers ticket for a WNBA
I've been trying to figure that out, because like,
they shouldn't sell anything but the lower bowl.
You should have to sit on the floor up to because I've been thinking about it, because like I went to go buy tickets because we're going next week to a game. I was like, I should not be able to buy tickets in the nosebleeds.
I don't care if they're $2. Right. You should never sell a bleacher ticket.
You should still sell those $2 tickets, but
for the top floor of the top,
Because when I look at a broadcast, if I see a full stadium for some junk, I'm still interested.
Exactly.
If I see, because
I will watch video poker on TV. Right. Like, you can't tell me that there's not a market.
That's we were having that conversation at the lake house, because we fancy. We're at the lake house when I was saying like the USFL seems like the NBA during the bubble, where I know I was watching the same caliber of NBA basketball, right? But I felt like I was watching practice basketball because there was nobody in the stadium.
That's a misnomer. You were watching the best basketball of all time.
Well, yeah, because they're focused.
Of all time, because they had no distractions.
They had no distractions. Yeah. But it doesn't matter, because like
they had a really cool virtual crowd.
I can't.
I didn't
stand
think it was cool.
I thought it was
tried to watch
stupid as hell.
I tried to watch.
Okay.
I tried to
I just
watch
had to talk
wrestling
to them a
again
minute.
for a while. I tried to watch wrestling again after a long while, but I picked the worst time. I picked during the
COVID.
and there's nothing weirder than seeing a guy going, yeah, like when somebody
From
does
his
the thing, I'm
house.
like, what are you reacting to? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'd watch YouTube if I wanted to see that. I'd watch us when we do a watch along for UFC
Shameless plug.
when we do one, you know, instead of that. But okay,
So where were we?
We were free tickets.
Free tickets.
Don't sell
1-to-1 for
nosebleeds.
NBA. Don't sell nosebleeds. And then lastly, we have to be interactive. So we are like fan controlled football approach, not quite to that depth.
I'm about to say
Not at all to that
Okay.
depth, but like only dumb shit. So when you get there, you download the WNBA app because I need to be on your phone. I got to be able to send you push notifications. You got to allow me so that way I can send you highlights and other shit that
What do I
happens.
get
that's
for
cool.
downloading that?
And
though?
what you get for downloading it is in-game control. So what do you actually get to control? Not anything over the top. You get to
You
control.
want to control women's bodies, bro?
You get to control music.
Oh my god!
Music.
How hot button issues we get back to them. Jesus.
Honestly, fuck
We
it.
stay-
Yeah. So they get to
we
control
stay
the
topical.
women.
We stay topical.
If you hold on right now, guys, I
We
want to
made
say
it
hold
all
on.
the way full
we made
circle.
it. We made it to the end of this podcast, and all I heard Larry say is he's got one way to fix the WNBA, and it's control the women's bodies. And honestly, I'm telling you right now, if you told a bunch of men you could pay $30 for this ticket, but you get to control these women's bodies, you solve the whole problem.
Hey, I told you I was going to
Everything's done.
I told you.
I don't have a bumper sound yet, so I'm just gonna applaud our way out this bitch with some fairy tale music.
We did it.
Thank you guys for watching.
Hold on.
Whoa, we ain't gonna do that.
Are you finished?
No, it don't matter. We finished.
Oh,
We put hard caps on stuff. Yeah, we are. We said hour 15.
No. It's
Okay.
extended cut. Finish
All
your
right.
statement.
I'll finish the statement.
If
So
you want to hear this last
2 minutes.
2
right?
minutes, subscribe.
It has nothing to do with Roe v. Wade.
So you get to control in-game stuff. So you control music. You can control who you get to see for like the halftime. That you can choose between the dance team, the power pack, like the dudes who come out and do the dunks and whatever, or whatever random act they might have lined up. You can pick between that stuff. You can choose from pre-selections on who the cheer team is dancing to, all of that kind of stuff. It's nothing that's like over the top, but it's just stuff to keep you engaged. And on top of that, every single time out, there's either a trivia or something to see if you're paying attention, and you're winning. You're always winning. You're winning a free popcorn. Like you just AMC stubs it. Like you're winning whatever little thing that you can give away, because at the end of the day, this is about branding and marketing, and they just have none. Like I need people leaving the stadium with free shit that says WNBA on it, with free tickets that they're coming back to their next game with, and with 1 or 2 highlights that they remembered, because then they looked up and they were like, oh yeah, that was Tamika Catchings who shot that. I want a free popcorn. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the play.
Sounds simple. Hey, I'm only adding to the problem with this discussion. I don't know the commissioner's name. I know she used to work for the NHL, which is much more interesting to me than her name, and I apologize for that. You got some tips from the man right here. If you want to implement them, that's fine. You don't have to pay me for it, but you have to pay him.
At least once.
Yeah, at least once. Any G League teams, if you need somebody to run your stuff, he's going to get those numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know. Roe v. Wade, was it a good idea? Obviously, as he's just proven, taking away bodily autonomy, not a bad idea.
If I can control it, I'll pay for
If
it.
I can control it, I'll pay for it.
Perfect. We'll
Wow.
pretend I hit a bumper button.